Hello, this is going to be a short video on recognition of the coefficients for graphing sine and cosine graphs. Okay. Now, in general, we will use these coefficients a, b, c, and k, and here's what you would have, something like y equals a sine bx plus c plus k, or of course you could have cosine. But this is the basic format in sort of a standardized form. And the reason these are so important are the following. These coefficients, a, b, c, and k, change the shape of the graph. Now we're going to go over what these mean in a different video, but I just wanted you to know the a changes the amplitude, b and c have to do where the phase shift, where the wave begins. The period is the length or the distance of one cycle or one wave, that's 2 pi over b. And the vertical shift k moves the entire graph up or down. Okay, but we'll do this in another video. Now, it really doesn't matter. We're using a, b, c, and k, and other books may use different coefficients. But what really matters is the position. So a, the way you distinguish a is it's in front of the sine or cosine, and it's multiplied. It's understood that this is a multiplication there. The k is either being added or subtracted afterwards, outside of the function. And then this part in here, the argument to the sine or cosine. The b is the coefficient in front of x that's multiplied, so you're multiplying b times x. And then over here, the c is also in the argument, but it's being added or subtracted. So that's the form that you're looking for. Okay. Now, let me just go through a few examples so you kind of see why recognition is so important. You might have things in slightly different forms. So here's an example. Some of your more basic, if you had something like y equals 3 cosine 5x minus pi plus 4. This 3 is your a, 5 is your b, negative pi, because you could look at this as a plus a negative pi. Right? That's your c, and here is your k. Okay. Let's take a look at another example. Suppose you had y equals sine x. Well, you want to actually make this, if we're going to write this in this format, the way I would write it is y equals 1 sine of 1x plus 0 plus 0. So in that case, a is 1, b is 1, c is 0, k is 0. Okay, suppose you had y equals 7 sine x minus 2. Now again, if we're going to write it in this standardized format, does this 2 go with the x or not? Well, technically we should write this 7 sine of x plus 0 minus 2. If I had wanted the negative 2 to be in the argument with sine, I should have used parentheses. Right? But since there were none, I know that this is not part of the argument. So this is a. B is, oops, I should have a 1 there. B is 1, C is 0, K is negative 2. Okay, let's take a look at a couple more examples. Let's say you had y equal negative cosine 2 pi x minus pi over 4. So again, the only thing that's missing here then is a k, so you could say negative cosine, oops, 2 pi x minus pi over 4 plus 0. And it's understood that this is a 1. So a is negative 1, b is 2 pi, c is negative pi over 4, k is 0. Okay. And finally, example 5. Suppose you're given 2 minus 6 cosine x plus pi over 6. Okay. Here, I would rewrite this so it's in the more standard form, and if you did that, you'd have, now it's understood, it's not written here, but there's a plus sign here. So in that case, a is your negative 6, b is 1, c is pi over 6, and k is 2. Okay? All right, thanks for listening.